While I may not be like the most active user in the world, I do actually occasionally peruse the Pixel Fold subreddit. And I have seen in particular in that subreddit a series of posts, a sort of maybe genre of posts that I want to talk about in today's video. If you go to the subreddit and you stay there long enough, you're going to start seeing these as well. It's people asking more or less, hey, are you guys babying your Pixel Fold? Are you afraid of it breaking? And a lot of this seems to come from two particular sources, this fear. Well, more than two sources, but there's two particular sources that I think are largely responsible for the posts that I see. So the first post goes back to right after the Pixel Fold was launched. There was an article written on Ars Technica where an individual there talked about how their Pixel Fold screen was broken, and they were hypothesizing that it was because they had closed their device on something. And whatever that something was happened to be in the space between the screen protector and the edge of the device. And the result was that the screen was punctured, and that did indeed damage the device. Now, from this, I have seen post after post, comment after comment, sort of not just aping this, reiterating this, but sort of taking it a step further and saying, if you close your Pixel Fold on common things like lint dust from your pocket, it's going to break the screen. And this is something that I think is just absolutely silly. So typically before I start filming something like the Pixel Fold, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to clean off the inner screen because it is a smudge and fingerprint magnet. But for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to do that because what I'm going to demonstrate to you when I open this thing up for the first time this morning, I'm betting you there's probably some amount of something, dust, pocket lint, something like that inside this device in between the two halves, because I want to demonstrate to you how common that type of thing is. Okay, yeah, let's immediately look here. Maybe you can see this, but there's a little piece of something, presumably from my pocket. It's gone now. There's a dog hair up there as well because I have an Australian Shepherd and another dog. There's little bits of pocket dust and lint all throughout this thing. The idea that that is going to break this device is just ridiculous. It's just not true. There's another little something hanging out right there in the crease. As you can see, I've closed it, I've opened it, and it's not going to be a problem. It's not going to break this thing's screen. I quite literally do not do anything special with my foldable devices. Maybe I treated like my Fold 2, my Z Fold 2, like a little bit of a delicate item. But since then, the Fold 4, the Pixel Fold, the OnePlus Open, I don't baby them at all. I treat them like perfectly normal phones. I treat them exactly like a normal phone. And I have literally never had any problems at all. Now, yeah, if you took like a pebble and dropped it in between the two halves of your Pixel Fold and then slammed it on it, you're probably going to break it. And if I'm being perfectly honest with you, when I look at what happened with the Pixel Fold that was on Ars Technica, I think it's pretty obvious that it was closed on something a lot more substantial and a lot more significant than something teeny tiny like a little speck of lint from your pocket. Now, they characterized it as a tiny speck of something, but I think I just showed you that my device is routinely closed onto tiny specks of something, and it doesn't have any ill effect at all on it. So my assertion here would be that that device was closed on something a bit more significant than a tiny speck of something. Now, obviously, accidents can happen. That sort of thing can occur. But again, it's just not something that if your device is in your hand, it's in your pocket, it's in your hand, it's in your pocket. Unless you're like using it outside and sprinkling rocks on, I just don't see how that's really going to be a thing you need to be all that worried about. And when this article was published all the way back on the 26th, right after the device had released, you saw a whole bunch of people that were panicking. They were panicking and they were saying, this thing is fragile. This is going to happen all the time. The two halves of the screen touch, which, by the way, they absolutely do. Maybe you've noticed that if your device has been closed for a long time and you open it, you'll hear this sound that I'm fairly certain are the two screens sticking together and then like kind of unsticking. You're like peeling them apart almost. People thought this is going to be a prevalent, disastrous issue, and here we are months later. what, 6, 7 months later, and that just hasn't been the case. The failure rate seems to be right in the same ballpark as the failure rate with the OnePlus Open and the Z Fold 5. Go figure, they're all using the same sorts of technology, and the failure rate is about the same. Now, I said that there were two primary sort of sources where these concerns were coming from. That was number one. Number two is going to be the video from Jerry Rig Everything, where Pixel Fold is seen in that video basically being snapped in half, being bent fully over in the other direction. And I've talked about this, I think, in the past, but we'll touch on it again very quickly here. If you watch that video, it will look a bit concerning because he is seen taking the Pixel Fold and he opens it up and then he torques it basically all the way back around and the device breaks. And he was unable to do that with the Z Fold, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the OnePlus Open as well. Didn't want to bend back all the way. And this device, Google says it has a very durable hinge, the most durable hinge, and yet he was able to bend it over. I want to point out a couple things. One, the hinge is not what failed. It actually bent kind of over here next to the hinge. But the other thing I want to point out is that this test, and I think that Zach, I think is his name from Jerry Rig Everything. He seems like a nice guy. Seems like a good guy. I'm not like just trying to dump on him or what he's doing. But that test where he's bending the thing over, I don't think has very many significant real world analogs. If you watch what he's doing, you can see he's bending this thing so hard, he's literally trembling. He's torquing it so hard. And maybe you don't know what Zach looks like, but Zach is a big, strong man. He's like twice my size, and it's not fat. He's a big guy. So he is exerting an absurd amount of force on this device to bend it over backwards. Unless you plan on taking your Pixel Fold, laying it face down on some soft surface like your bed or a couch or something like that, and then calling upon the great spirit of Macho Man Randy Savage to drop the elbow off the top rope on it, you're just not gonna do this. This isn't going to happen, right? Like maybe, again, you leave it sitting face down and somebody just sits on it real hard, maybe they could cause it to fail. But again, based on what I'm seeing, that looks like a lot of very deliberate, very precise force directly on that hinge to cause this to happen. This would kind of be the analogy that I would make. It's like if I was doing a phone durability test and I was like, now it's time for the wood chipper test, where I throw my phone into a wood chipper to see if it will survive. And of course it gets destroyed. And I go, this phone failed the wood chipper test. It's not relevant. It's just not relevant to like normal day-to-day use. I get that it's cool that other foldables were harder to break intentionally by bending it backwards. But again, if you made a phone that could survive the wood chipper test and other phones couldn't, would that really matter? Like, does that really tell you anything about the actual device? No, it does not. And let me give you my own sort of anecdotal personal story. The other day, I was using my Pixel Fold. My son was back in here. It's currently back in the OnePlus Open because that's just what my life is like. And I was going into my bedroom and I was gonna get ready for bed. And because I'm stupid, I tossed my phone onto my bed, sort of over towards my side where my bedside table is and my Pixel stand is. Tossed it across the room, like probably 8 feet across the room, because again, I'm stupid. I don't baby these things. It goes to the air, it turns, it hits like this, it cartwheels, it bounces through the air and lands, boom, on a corner. I don't know what corner it was. We're going to look at all 4 corners and I'll show you. But it landed hard. Hard enough that my heart sank and I was like, oh dear, I have just destroyed my phone. Because that immediate thought of like, why did I just throw my phone across the room? Why did I do that? What did I think was going to happen? It bounced. It hits the floor very, very hard. And, well, let me just not describe it to you. Let me just show you. So once again, here's my Pixel Fold. We're going to go around each corner. Let me bring some additional light in here and I'll see if I can determine if any ill effect was had at all. So this corner looks absolutely pristine. This corner up here by the hinge, I don't see anything either. All the way down the side rail, again, it did definitely land on a corner, but we'll go past that too. I don't see anything there. And I don't see anything there. This thing is literally no worse for the wear. And it, like I said, it landed very, very hard. Cover display works just fine. No problems at all. You can see here, everything's fine. Inner display, again, everything is just fine. You would have never known that I had done what I did, and I did what I did, and everything's fine. For those of you that have a Pixel Fold, I want you to do something. Open it up and apply some pressure, right? Like don't pull a jerry rig everything, but apply some pressure. And I think you'll realize how much force he was exerting to get it to do what it did. And the answer is, it's a ton. It's a ton of force, guys. It's not going to happen in real life. And honestly, I'm not just saying this sort of thing about the Pixel Fold. I'm speaking more broadly about foldables in general. They are just more durable than people seem to think that they are. I've used them. My wife had a Z Flip that she had in a case, granted, but she dropped the thing repeatedly. And I could pop the case off and it looks like a brand new phone. The inner screen is totally pristine. You don't really need to baby these things. Don't go stabbing at the inner screen. Don't go closing them on rocks. And you're going to be just fine. Even if you happen to throw it across the room, in my case, it's still going to survive. I guess full disclosure, there is a tempered glass screen protector on here, but it didn't really land on the screen anyways. But again, I'll just say that to be clear. So guys, those are my thoughts on that particular topic. Maybe I'll just start linking this to people who ask me directly if I baby my Pixel Fold. Maybe this will just be my answer going forward. Maybe you can do the same. Thanks for watching. Comment down below what your experience has been, because I know that there are definitely failures out there, right? Things do break. Everything has a failure rate. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it will never possibly break. But I'd love to hear some stories from people. Let's go the other way. How about some stories from people who don't baby their device, who threw theirs across the room, who dropped it, and that nothing happened? Let's share some of those stories as well to kind of ease people's anxieties. Hit that subscribe button like I said, or maybe I didn't say, so you don't miss out on more content like this. I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.